Black Butler Season 5 episode begins with a mysterious person secretly researching the witches and the werewolves. Interestingly, he observes something in the books and is shocked. Meanwhile, Ciel and Sullivan ruminates about the ultimate magic spell she has to make. She believes once peace is restored in the village, Sebastian and Ciel will visit her again. With this notion in mind, Sieglinde wholeheartedly puts effort into making the spell. Meanwhile, Wolfram Geyser enters her room and tells her to sleep. However, Sieglinde mentions that she can't sleep right now because she must focus on her duty. Elsewhere, in Black Butler Season 5 Episode 7, Ciel Phantomhive becomes worried as he reads the Queen's request to have tea with Sieglinde. He is visibly frustrated about the task's difficulty, as he cannot fathom how he can convince Sieglinde about it. At any rate, he realizes they don't have much time since they need to return soon. He asks the servants to make the preparations. Likewise, Ciel orders Sebastian to dress him and relay more information. Following this, the narrative for Black Butler Season 5 Episode 7 shifts the focus to the Emerald Castle's basement, where Sieglinde Sullivan makes the ultimate magic. As soon as she does that, she loses her consciousness. She regains consciousness in her bedroom and sees her butler, Wolfram. The butler thanks Sieglinde for her efforts. Meanwhile, Sieglinde asks Wolfram if he remembers the day she was crowned the Emerald Witch. Wolfram replies that he can never forget. At the same time, he asks her not to make a gloomy face. Rather, he mentions that she should be proud of her bound feet, which symbolize the fact that she's a descendant of the great Emerald Witch. Meanwhile, Sieglinde believes that she has finally fulfilled one of the responsibilities bestowed on her. She wonders whether her mother, the previous Emerald Witch, whom she no longer remembers, would be happy. Wolfram assures the girl that her mother would have been proud. Following this, in Black Butler Season 5 Episode 7, Sieglinde Sullivan suggests they go outside to learn more stuff since she has already completed the ultimate spell. However, Wolfram firmly reminds her that they aren't allowed to leave, as per the law. He urges the girl to rest and leaves her room. Later, at night, Sieglinde hears someone knocking on the window by her bed. She looks out of her window and finds Ciel and Sebastian. Undoubtedly, she becomes slightly surprised, as she cannot believe how they could get up there. However, Ciel reminds him that she shouldn't be surprised, when she herself is a witch who can fly through the air on a broom. At any rate, Ciel says he wants to thank her for what she has done. At this moment, in Black Butler Season 5 Episode 7, Sieglinde wonders whether Ciel Phantomhive is making a bold attempt at her. Ciel becomes slightly enraged, so Sebastian tells him to keep it down. Following this, Sebastian tells Sieglinde that they have prepared a way for her to see the outside world, something she desperately wants. Sieglinde hesitates at first because she knows that she's an Emerald Witch, and she must abide by the witch's customs and remain in the village. Ciel apologizes to Sieglinde for such a proposal and says they will leave in the morning. He thanks the witch and bids her farewell. Ciel Phantomhive's goodbyes overwhelm Sieglinde with emotions as she holds onto his overcoat and says with tears that she will go with them. At this moment, in Black Butler Season 5 Episode 7, Sebastian changes her outfit to escort her to an unknown land. After Sieglinde accepts Ciel and Sebastian's proposal, the duo takes her to the Emerald Castle's basement. They assure the girl that they are, indeed, guiding her to the outside world. In the basement, Sebastian comments that an Emerald Witch's duty is to create the magic circle. At this moment, Black Butler shifts the focus to Sieglinde Sullivan, who comments on the discourse about the werewolves and miasma. She explains that the werewolves are clad in miasma, which is an evil magic that harms humans. According to Sieglinde, miasma was present in the atmosphere in great quantities, and it proved harmful for humans in the past. On the contrary, it was like an elixir for the magical beasts. Hence, when human beings prospered, the sacred magic was lost. Eventually, the werewolves and the witches lost their abilities. That's why the werewolves urged the witches to create a source of miasma. In exchange, they promised to protect the forest, which is now known as the werewolves' forest. Therefore, the witches before Sieglinde Sullivan extensively researched and found a formula to create the lost miasma. Interestingly, Sieglinde used the formula to create the ultimate magic that can endlessly produce miasma with massive density. Sebastian Michaelis then comments that it's the history that Sieglinde Sullivan has been taught. The demon butler then moves toward the altar in the center of the circle and unveils a hidden lever. As soon as he pulls the lever, a secret passageway is revealed behind the wall. Much to Sieglinde's astonishment, Sebastian calls it the actual outside world. He wonders whether Sieglinde is ready to see the truth. The girl replies that she won't turn back. As they enter the hidden chamber, they notice an elevator. Using the elevator, they descend to B4 and discover a room filled with gadgets, monitors, and radars. Interestingly, the monitors show the map of the Wolfsschlucht village and track the villagers' current positions via the amulets. According to Black Butler Season 5, Episode 7, the amulets are actually transmitters. Sieglinde Sullivan is flabbergasted. However, Sebastian tells her to be silent. Following this, they move to another floor, which is a lab that specializes in manufacturing chemicals. At this moment, in Black Butler Season 5, Episode 7, they hear a noise and find the village crone holding an assembly with the werewolves. The village crone mentions that Sieglinde has finally done her job. She adds that the miasma Sieglinde has produced will change history. Meanwhile, Sieglinde demands an explanation from the village cone. Just then, the werewolves stationed in the room rush to her. Interestingly, Sebastian slices a werewolf costume to expose a man inside. According to Black Butler Season 5, Episode 7, the werewolves are actually normal human beings in costumes, and the miasma is a chemical weapon constructed by the factory. In other words, miasma is a poisonous gas. Ciel reveals that the whole discourse on the werewolves and the curses was a lie fed to Sieglinde. The Emerald Witch is stunned in shock, as she can't believe the reality of the situation. Meanwhile, the village crone admits that Sieglinde has made the most powerful poisonous gas in history, and calls it Sulin. And now, things are about to get even darker. In Episode 8, the veil of mystery surrounding Sieglinde Sullivan is finally expected to be torn away. We'll likely discover the chilling truth behind her past, and how deeply rooted her connection is to the village itself. Not just as the Green Witch, but possibly as something far more tragic. Or dangerous. But that's not all. The real purpose behind the creation of that terrifying poisonous gas, the one powerful enough to wipe out entire battalions, will finally come to light. Was it really just for defense? Or is there a much more sinister plot unfolding behind the scenes? As secrets unravel, Ciel and Sebastian are walking into a far deadlier game than they ever imagined. And what they find might not only reshape the fate of the village, but could shake the very foundation of their mission. So brace yourselves. Episode 8 might just be the one that changes everything.